when a family truly works together and they understand where we are going as a couple,
Yes.
that's where the value is.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Because there was days where I was out there, trying to accomplish the world, and I'm driving results for the family, and my wife had no idea of what I was out to accomplish.
Oh, yeah.
But she knew I was out to accomplish something great, but she didn't fully understand what I was out to accomplish. So sometimes there was conflicts there, right? But once you understand and you work together as a couple of this is where we're going as a family,
Yes.
that's where the power comes from, because
Yes.
then there is no conflict.
Absolutely.
Because we all agreed this is where we're going.
Welcome to Enrich Your Empire with Richie Huffman, the ultimate podcast for entrepreneurship, impactful wealth building, and effective team leadership. It's time to enrich your business and create a lasting legacy. Let's get to work.
Okay, guys, so today I had a powerhouse couple on. This couple, the Kikani family, proved to us that a husband and wife team can work together to be entrepreneurs. They spoke a lot about how they leverage each other's relationships, their different skill sets in order to win. They've also touched on how they've grown personally as individuals inside of the Celebree School organization. It's a good one, guys. Hey, guys, welcome back to Enrich Your Empire. I'm Richie Huffman, and I am here with one of my favorite franchise partners. Seriously, you guys, you inspire me, because I know you guys are very entrepreneurial spirit, come from a very entrepreneur family. So you have a lot to teach me also as we move forward. I know you make those faces, but it's so true, and you know it's true, but it's okay. You're very humble. You're a very humble family. So I'm here with the Kikani family and one of our franchise partners. And guys, we got a power couple here today. A young, up and coming power couple. So welcome, guys.
Well, thank you for having us on, Richie.
You're welcome. Yeah. So let's talk about you guys, your background, and before we started rolling here, we really started talking about the family. So let's talk about you guys personally as a couple,
Right.
and then maybe a little bit about the family.
So I guess I'll start out. Our family is a real estate development family, so we buy properties and we put stuff on them. We build something, either a building or a parking lot, or it could be anything, and we operate it for a few years and we sell. That's we are just starting out. It's not like we've been doing this for a long time. We're only 3 projects in.
Okay, good.
Right. So
very good.
Celebree will be one of our projects, 4th project, but we don't plan to sell Celebree, of course. Before, we were doing hotels, and before even that, we were in New Jersey, and my father was doing something similar to what Krishna's family was doing. He was the jeweler, basically.
Oh, wow.
In New Jersey, and he had an office in New York and everything, but then the market crashed. 2008, we moved down here to College Station, Texas, which, if you know the University of Texas A&M.
Yeah, of course.
So we had a hotel there for 8 years. I went to college at U of H. Did not want to go to A&M. It's too much Aggie culture. But I had a great time in Houston. And I was telling my dad, Houston has so much opportunity. We should do something here.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that was way back in 2012. And
Wow.
then we started getting properties in 2014, 2015.
Okay.
Now, how much of that was him doing his own thing versus him listening to me, only he can tell you that. But so that's how we started getting into Houston. And then our first project was the self-storage facility back in 2017 and 18. And then I operated that for 5 years. In the midst of operating that, I met my lovely wife, Krishna, and she can tell you a little bit more about her background. But and then we sold that, and now we're here. So
Gotcha.
I'll let Krishna kind of give a little bit more about her background.
Sure. Well, quick question. So
Sure.
was the self-storage, was that a franchise concept?
No, we were considering franchise, but now this I can say for sure. I told my father we're not doing a franchise because I can handle it. I don't know what it was. I had that confidence
That's awesome.
that I could do it. You know,
Yeah.
it was a brand new industry. He had done hotels, we had done hotels, but self storage is something brand new, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, how do you get in there and how do you just open something brand new?
Yeah.
You know.
So
without-
at that point, you'd already seen the difference between, or you had already experienced the franchise support.
Yes,
So
yes.
you saw that, and you felt in the self storage that you could
We
do
didn't
it on
need
your own and didn't need that
Yeah.
kind of support.
And there's a lot of things franchises bring, right? They bring that name recognition, the brand recognition. They'll bring even business to your location because people, if it's a Hilton,
Mhm.
people will be like, I'm only staying at the Hilton.
Yeah.
So there's so many things franchises do offer. But for the self-storage industry, I felt like it was so sporadic, and every location is individual. So I felt that we didn't need that.
Got it.
But yes, I have seen multiple kinds of franchises and the support they offer. It's one of the things I like about Celebree.
Mhm.
You guys are just so different that no one's doing what you guys are doing. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it.
We'll talk a little bit about
Yeah.
that in a minute. Krishna, you want to go?
About my background,
Yeah,
yes.
please.
So before I came here, I graduated in MBA.
That's okay.
MBA. My specialization was marketing, and my family doesn't have a very good work culture for girls. So after graduating, I was like, what do I do? And they were finding a guy for me. Like, we still follow the arranged marriage culture as well. So they were finding
There's
a
no
guy.
business path for you, but we're going to find you a husband.
Right.
Yeah. So I was like, what do I do?
This is a whole podcast within itself right here,
Yeah.
right?
It can be. It can
The-
be.
these,
can be.
Well, and we'll talk about this. We're going to talk about like
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
way we're kind of and how you guys will develop a plan for hopefully for
Future
your
family,
for
yeah.
future family.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. We have so much
So much
in our
planned.
plans,
Yeah,
in
oh.
our vision. Yeah. So, like I was said, I didn't know what I have to do. So with my best friend, I started designing clothes. I'm like, let me do something from
I'm going to
home.
be an entrepreneur whether you like it or not, right?
Yes, it's in my blood.
Right?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
It's that and investment. Like, I have that investment spirit from my family. So I'm like, I need to spend my time, my energy into something of my own and my family. So let me do something. So I'm like, I also use my marketing expertise now. So started designing clothes, made a fashion label on Instagram, started doing the exhibitions locally right there in town. Did 2 of them, and then I got introduced to him. We got engaged. Within 3 months, I came down here, got married. And the family suggested, because I had an MBA, they are like, get into corporate. You can start from the scratch. It's okay, but once you are into the industry, you will be fine. I'm like, I don't think I want to go that route. So I'm like, just because we have real estate background, let me try being a realtor and being a residential realtor, and then I'll eventually get into commercial. I tried that for 1.5 years. I'm like, it didn't really click. I learned a lot, but just because I did not know how to do business in this country, I guess, and I was new to the country, it did not click well. I did very good though. I started selling from first month. So, but it was just not fit to me. So I'm like, I need to find something that is my calling. So family suggested to start looking into franchise so that I can learn and I would have that support to learn, to grow in this country. So I started looking for franchises. I came across school, and there clicked in my long-term vision. I'm like, I want to do something for the community, do something for the family. So what is better than education? And another thing that got connected is my own past experience, like how I make my decisions, how my mindset is right now, is I can link it directly to how I was raised. I'm like, I was in a British education system, which is very disciplinary, very strict, and I'm like, okay, those mindset, I'm taking my decisions being in that mindset. So I have an opportunity to change that into these kids, and they will operate from a totally different mindset. And why not do that? So, like, I want to give back to the community. Like we always talk about, I
Make an
want to do
impact.
CSR and foundations, right? So very long-term vision, but this is like a baby step for me to get into the industry in education and do something for the community, for those kids, at the same time help me myself evolve into that human. So everything clicked well, and it was just schools, right? So I explored all the school options, but the values that resonated when I met you. This was the first, Celebree was the first school that we went for the discovery day, and then we met you. I don't know about him, but I was very impressed by
I
the
know how he feels. he
culture.
wears his emotions on his sleeves and in his face.
Yeah.
I know
Yeah.
exactly how he feels. Right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
so kind of you. But what I felt was the culture and the values that you brought on the table was like, I want this. So
thank
then
you.
we did not talk to anybody and we just jumped right in.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's amazing because when I think when you say the family, you're referring to your
Our
family,
family, yes.
right?
To the in-laws, yes.
Yeah, I'm just learning so much just listening to you. And how did the family respond to that?
So my family, our family,
It was like a
This is
rebel.
going in a whole different direction.
Yeah.
But it's so much this I
Absolutely.
love this because there's so much for our listeners and I'm learning. Because even with my family, our family, my 4 boys and my daughter, like we're talking about family governance and we're talking about covenants and we're talking about onboarding, spouses into the family and how do we go about this? So that's why I'm asking these questions because I
absolutely.
am totally in tune in what you're saying right now.
So yeah, I can help with that.
Yeah.
Our family has been generally supportive. In the beginning, it was mostly. We met during Discovery Day. Originally, the plan was she would run the franchise, the school,
Yeah.
and I would be there to support. Now, it has evolved into both of us doing it, giving our all 100%. So, but the family, they've always been supported. They've wanted us to do something. My father, he wants me to be more on his side, and that's, of course, I understand that.
Yeah.
But I kind of have to be that everything guy that's doing. I'm helping my father. I'm helping Krishna. I'm helping my own business. I'm doing
Right.
I have to do everything, and
Right.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
That's just because I've been doing it since I was 14.
Yeah.
So I've grown up in this whole family business. And since the age of like 10 or 12, I've known that I have to be the one that's going to take this thing forward because no one else is going to do it for
Yeah.
me, right? So, or even our family. So I've always operated from that mindset, and so has my father. So we're generally very supportive of. Before we got married, we wanted somebody that was not interested in just being a housewife. And I don't mean housewife.
You didn't get that.
No. And being a housewife is not a bad thing. That's
Yeah, I understand.
It's a full-time job in its own
Totally.
right. And I, respect every housewife out there, of course. But we wanted somebody who wanted to be active, not just, for making money, but to be productive.
Yeah.
And, you can be productive in so many ways. It doesn't have to be a job or a business. It could be anything. But we found Krishna, and she's very productive.
Yeah.
She's proactive. She's productive, and she's wanting to do something. She's wanting to make an impact. So when she first came to us, we were like, okay, let's, you can do it. I'll be there if you need me. And then as we've gotten into it, I've fell in love with the brand as well. Like, it's growing people big and small. It's such a impactful statement that I was like, this also resonates with me. Like, the original research and franchise introduction, Krishna was doing all of that. I didn't know too much about Celebree. When we came up to Discovery Day, it was mainly more about numbers and things like that. So, but in the process, we've really, as we've gotten to meet everybody, the franchisees, the franchise partners, the vendors, and then all of you guys in the management team and the executive team. You guys are just amazing. So
Thank you. Thank you. So that's interesting because you really looked at this like another business venture.
absolutely.
Right?
In the beginning.
Yeah,
In the beginning.
yeah.
Not now.
And now the
No,
whole
yeah.
and I think you've bought into really our culture.
Yes.
Right,
It's
and
a good culture.
as you mentioned, it's the culture of we grow people big and small. There's a real rally call there. There's a real mission and purpose behind that, which I ultimately think drives great numbers.
Yes.
Right, because we really have something unique to offer, which is this philosophy and this mission of growing people big and small.
It's
Exactly.
timeless.
It's timeless, and our franchise partners are attracted to that because it gives them a purpose inside of a business, right?
Yes, there's meaning to it.
There's meaning behind it. Our teachers can understand it, so they want to be a part of it, and ultimately our families and our children understand it, and they want to be a part of that. So this discovery of who we are as a culture and as a business, it just bleeds through the entire organization.
Oh yeah. So one of the things I've seen over the years is we all need money to survive. We all need money to do things that we want to do. But when you do things just for the money, I don't think you can pull out your full potential.
True.
So
Totally.
that's one of the reasons I love this brand is that you're gonna have people that do things for money, of course, in any business. But when you find these people, and I've met them, I've met them, and I feel like I'm one of them as well, that they do something, they don't do what they're doing for the money. There's a reason behind what they're doing. For example, for Krishna is making an impact, right?
Yeah.
She's growing the family big and small, and for myself also is making that impact. So when you find those people, you really become like an unstoppable force.
Totally.
Yeah.
That's the way I feel right now.
Yeah. So
You created something very beautiful.
Thank
growing
you.
people
Thank
big
you.
and small.
Thank you. I don't even think I discovered it. I think someone actually handed it to me.
Ah.
But
That's okay.
it was a total blessing.
yeah.
It is.
So, but to your point, somebody can hand you a lot of things, but if you don't know what to do with it and you don't see the value in what's been given to you, then most of the times it just squanders, right? So,
Exactly.
so
You gotta
thank
believe
you.
in what you're doing.
Well said.
Totally, totally. So you guys were here last week or the week before for going through our training. Now you're back this week for additional training. I asked you before we got started, like, what's your thoughts on that? Or what did you did it change who you are? Did new discoveries? Because as we
Well-
mentioned, you've been in a lot of different businesses.
Yes. So training itself, I've learned a lot, operations and brand standards and all that
Yeah.
fun stuff during the training, and that's great. But for me, the greatest growth has been through the process of getting to that point up till training. Just because it's more than just the training, right? You're going through the real estate journey, you're going through the construction journey, you're going through financing, and each step of the way you're meeting people along the way that are there to help you and help you grow in different ways, whether it's finding that best deal or making an informed bid or with the GCs and
Yep.
having those meetings. So that really helped, I feel us as a couple grow, as a business couple.
Yeah, I love that. So how is there some things that you've maybe, because again, you're seasoned entrepreneurs, so is there things that you learned over your time here with Celebree that you can apply and take back to some of your other
Yes.
businesses?
Absolutely. So while I'm seasoned, I'm still young. I don't know everything out there, so I'm always looking to learn new things. There's a lot of things I've learned in this process, things to look out for when you're, negotiating your leases, and that I've been a landlord, right? And being on the tenant side, it's completely different. So seeing that perspective from that side, learning, when you're doing your FF&E build-outs, what exact things you need. So definitely I've learned things I can take back. It's hard to put it into words exactly what I'm going to take back because every business is different. I think the number one has got to be that attitude. Having that positive mindset and having that, that drive to do it. If you have those things and you're willing to figure things out, you're going to be successful in any business.
100%. How about for you, Krishna?
Yeah, I'm going to take back the culture, like I said, the values that Celebree as a family have built within the brand. I am definitely going to take back to the school and then try to implement in other businesses and family, because that's very precious, and the support of the people that we have gotten is it's unremarkable.
That will be the heartbeat of that is the heartbeat of the business.
Yeah, I can bet that if I call somebody on middle of the night from Celebree, they will be there to help me. Yeah, like, because it's my first venture.
Right.
And this kind of support, so I'm very impressed. And the tools and the process are like just in place. I can never get lost. It's like it's all there for me. I just have to follow the process.
And I'm so glad you say that, because I want you to use them. I mean, the ones that don't use our tools and don't reach out they're the ones that are are not taking advantage of the full resources here at Celebree. But I totally understood what you were just talking about, because when you're on both sides, and we'll go back to your lease example, when you're a landlord and you're a tenant, when you're a landlord or a tenant first, you get to understand both sides, and you get to see both perspectives of where the tenant's coming from and where you have to come from as a landlord. And so I think it makes you a phenomenal landlord and negotiator, because in a lease of real estate, because you understand why they're asking for what they're asking for.
And absolutely.
Because you'd be asking for it.
Yeah, exactly. And you're exactly right in that, being a landlord, you want your tenants to be successful, number one. If your tenants are successful, that's the only way you can be successful. If they're not making money to pay rent, how are you going to get rent? Right? So you're exactly right.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Krishna, is there anything over the last in your journey with Celebree, have you discovered anything about yourself?
My confidence.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If that's where you want to go, it's built your confidence.
Yeah, to help. I would never say I have built it. I'm still building it, because like I said, this is my first venture as a business. I had fashion label, but that was very local. It was small, not organized. So I came in very nervous, very like, how am I gonna do it? Because this is a brand, I have to withhold the numbers and so many things, right? So I was very nervous when I started, and I'm like, how will I do it? But now I know I have the support, I have the tools, I have the process, and I have the back from my family. So it's helping me build my confidence. Yes.
And that's I think you mentioned this earlier. I mean, it's everything.
I'm growing big with Celebree.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. Parth, so what about you? What about you personally?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. How have you grown, if any, personally, coming through the Celebree experience?
How have I grown? I've grown a lot. I'll say that. That's just because I've been growing the last few years, and Celebree's been a part of that. And there's a lot of ways I've grown. It's hard to explain them all, but as a speaker, a person in the community, as someone who can, be that businessman that's leading the family and taking charge.
Wow.
So because I grew up into this, yes, but I didn't grow up into it until just recently, I feel like. Having that can-do attitude, that positivity, that, never take no for an answer, and just being an unstoppable force, that's really happened in the last couple of years, and that's partly because of Celebree. And not only is the process there, not only is the support there, but you guys have just this positivity around you guys that really it brings a smile to my
Oh,
face.
thank you.
know?
Is that why you're always smiling?
I tried to. But
Yeah.
What about as a couple?
mhm.
Right? Like there's a lot of folks and they probably have never even tried it and we're like, "Oh, I can never work with my spouse." What has this done for you guys as a couple? I opened up by saying, I have a power couple here, and I really do believe that I can feel it. Do I have the right feelings here? What has it done
So-
for you guys?
Absolutely. We've definitely grown closer, and Krishna can speak more to it because it's definitely impacted her a lot more.
You were already doing business, right?
She's more green than I am,
Yeah.
right? But I definitely feel it helped us grow closer because we're working together all the time.
Yeah.
Now, every couple is different, so I'm not gonna say, hey, just jump into business together. It'll make your relationship great.
Yes.
That's not the right advice. I would say we complement each other's strengths very well in a way that what she's great at, I am not so good at. I can't organize my room. I can't organize these binders and all that. But I can,
thank you for that, right? Thank you.
But I can run a business. I'm a great operator and I'm a great leader for my employees. So, and those are the things I'm not going to say she's bad at. She's just hasn't done them. So she has to grow those skills and that confidence in them. So it's helped us in a lot of ways that it's hard to describe, but I feel like it's been, a blessing.
That's awesome. What would you say?
Yeah, like he said, I will pick up on what he said. Like we are complementing each other's strengths and weaknesses. Right, I am very new to the working culture, so I don't know leadership yet, how to deal with employees. So that's going to be my weakness for now. So that's where he comes in and he manages those part. And I am going to be more on setting up the school, the operations, the everyday day-to-day parts, and the detail-oriented details, and everything is what is my forte. I wouldn't say I have OCD, but I'm a perfectionist, so that's going to play a big role in managing the school and taking it to the accreditation standards, because in my head I want to get accredited from day one, so I'm already preparing from that standpoint.
Yeah.
So, and he comes in as an entrepreneur, as a business leader who will manage the staff, and I'll learn from him at the same time, right? So it's like I'm gonna strengthen my weaknesses by learning from him, and he can use my strengths for operations.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah.
I give you one more little piece to this conversation too that I've witnessed not only from my own personal life but also with watching others. The value not in a power couple or couple in business, I think, is not only to offset each other's weaknesses or strengths, and sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes you both have the same strengths and you just maximize that strength. But when a family truly works together and they understand where we are going as a couple,
Yes.
that's where the value is.
Oh, yeah.
Right, because there was days where I was out there, trying to accomplish the world, and I'm driving results for the family, and my wife had no idea of what I was out to accomplish.
Oh, yeah.
But she knew I was out to accomplish something great, but she didn't fully understand what I was out to accomplish. So sometimes there was conflicts there, right? But once you understand and you work together as a couple of this is where we're going as a family,
Yes.
that's where the power comes from, because then there is no conflict.
Absolutely.
Because we all agreed, this is where we're going,
Exactly.
I 100% agree to that.
right?
Because
And most families never sit down and discuss it as far as where are we going as a family? What do we want to accomplish this year, 3 years, 5 years from now?
Yes.
Now, I'm going to do this, you're going to do that, and now let's go execute on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I can speak to that a little bit. Just having that common goal, that driver of working together
As a family.
Yeah, that's a very important part of it.
It's rare.
Because you might have everything in your head. Hey, in 5 years I want to reach here, but I'm not so good at writing those things down or expressing how I want to achieve those. I have it all in my head.
Right.
But Krishna,
And as men, we don't share.
we don't share. We don't like sharing.
We know that. You know that.
Krishna loves to share, and she loves she loves having her vision boards
Oh, I
and
love
5-year
that.
plans. So she encourages me, hey, at least write something down.
Oh,
You know?
that's awesome.
So that kind of working together, that's the magic behind
Yeah.
this family business
Yeah.
that we're trying to achieve.
I love that. And again, I think so many families miss that. Whether they're working whether they're working together in a business or they're working separately, dad's a doctor, mom's a whatever physician or whatever. But what are we out to accomplish as a couple and as a family?
Yes.
And most families just don't take the time to articulate that.
They don't want to
That's
discuss
very clear.
it.
We
Why,
have-
why is that?
Well, I'm not in every
I know,
family.
but why would you I just don't understand that.
maybe not just driven, but we have a long-term vision that we want to accomplish, and we know that we are exactly on that path. We are investors. We're always going to be that. We will operate, have the cash flows, and invest. That's where we want to be.
She's a numbers lady too.
Oh yeah.
My family
she
was
claims
always
to be a marketing, but she
No.
she knows
She
her numbers.
gets on me every month.
Does she? I love that. Oh. So on that note, where do you see this power couple? Where do you see the Kikani family in 5 years?
Yes.
Tell me about that vision board.
My vision is very long-term, but
Just do 5.
yeah, I'm just going to do 5.
Well, let me ask you that. So how far out are you?
Like I said, it's just a baby step for me right now because I'm getting started. I just joined the family. It's been just a couple years, so.
Okay.
But I would say 20 years of the vision that I have for us as a family, we are just getting started.
Yeah.
Literally, we are just getting started. This is a baby step. Our goal is to get different streams of cash flow, invest multiple businesses,
Yeah.
invest in there are 2 kinds of investments that I take it from my own family: real estate and stocks. So that's what we want to get into. We are already into it, but do more and more, and then do our 1% to 10% to the CSR, like a normal company. But that's where I want to go into, like investments and foundation, and then he can take care of the businesses.
I'll give you the more concrete
That's-
stuff.
that's the
Love
goal.
that. Love that.
So, in exactly 5 years, I should have my second location open for Celebree, the same second location for my other business, truck parking, and then working on the third for each of those. So, those 2, we want to start investing, start having that retirement fund, and compounding that growth
In the market.
in the market while we're generating that cash flow. Because when you can generate 10 million a year, but if you're not saving it and growing it, what's the point? So that's just a little bit of where we see ourselves
Yeah.
in 5.
And I think the wealth strategy could be, because that's what really we're talking about,
Yeah.
about the family's wealth strategy. It can be that simple,
Yeah.
right? I think it is that simple, right? Here's the 3 pillars.
Yeah.
It's business, it's real estate, and it's stocks and bonds and liquidity, right? And we're always constantly looking for ways from our free cash flow to fill those 3 pillars.
Exactly. So, yeah.
It's really that when people talk about gaining wealth or creating wealth, there's your 3 opportunities.
Yeah.
It's not so complicated.
It's not complicated at
I
all.
would-
And which one should you choose? All 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start filling one, move to the next, and then eventually, when you're at a certain stage, you have the ability. Now you can invest in all 3
At the
all
same
year long until
That's what I try to tell her too. Like, let's just get we're gonna do the investment. We're gonna do the multiple businesses. But once we get that cash flow, then only we can have that diverge into the other pillars, right?
Totally.
So, but currently, I mean,
It's business and real estate.
Yeah, it's
That's what
just
I'm hearing.
Yeah,
Right.
And the business side, we're in transition, so there's no cash flow. So once we can get that cash flow again, then we can go back into investments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I can say this. You guys have I'm excited to watch you guys grow. You guys are
getting
so
started.
young. You guys, you're such a bright future ahead of you. You're extremely smart and intelligent, and so I can't wait to watch you guys grow as a family and prosper.
Yeah, and more importantly, meanwhile we do that, I know investments and building that generational wealth, it comes from our blood, right? It's a family culture. So we're going to do that for the generations and for security. That's not the main goal. Main goal is making that impact. Meanwhile doing
Yes.
that. Meanwhile
Yes.
building the generational wealth. That's what drives
Yeah.
me every day.
And thank you for saying that, because that in our family, that's the fourth pillar, which is the philanthropy piece.
Yes, that's very
community, yeah.
important, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I like having meaning in whatever I do.
Totally.
So that gives meaning, yeah.
Totally. Well, guys, as I said, I'm excited first that you're one of our partners in business. And I look at you guys and consider you guys our friends also,
Yes,
my
absolutely.
friends. So I wish you guys all the best of luck, and I really appreciate you taking the time to stop by today and have this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would love
Appreciate
to
you
know
for
more
having us.
about you. You are like a role model because you have whatever we are talking about, you are already role playing it.
Yeah, but
so-
you guys have it. You have it. Now it's just time.
Yeah.
It's
You,
just-
you guys have the right mindset. You know exactly what you're doing. We just talked about it. You're filling the 4 pillars, and it just takes time.
Thank you.
And you're going to turn around. You're going to go, wow.
Yeah.
Look what we've created, and you're going
Thank
to be
you so
super,
much.
and you're going to be super proud of it,
Yeah.
right? And to your point, your kids are going to be super thankful for it.
Yes.
That's the goal.
I hope so.
That's the
Yeah.
goal.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to Enrich Your Empire. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn at Richie Huffman Celebree. We've got more great episodes lined up for you, so check back with us soon. Until then, stay inspired, stay driven, and keep building your empire.